sit. I did get out of the Twin Cities, they got a bag house they're gonna sit on that.
Just woke up. Pretty scared. Yeah. First time I ever felt it. First time I ever felt it. This one is a little bigger.
Call on item 11. I didn't have a look at the, what was going to be on for Virginia, and I had asked Karen to put that on there with basically done twice.
Well, I didn't do it, maybe I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You had no way of knowing what all was going to be on there. Item 11 is really superseded by item 8. Just to make that clear.
Here.
Martin Three,
Here.
Martin Owens.
Here. You recognize me? Does anybody have any new business?
I'd like to have a few minutes to talk about the road condition out on Perry Loop.
We're done talking about the road.
Well, no, I got the floor right now, and
I'm done talking about.
Hang on.
now I just want to
Would you
bring.
please refer to the road you're talking to so we'll know?
I
what-
said Perry Loop.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Apologize.
I'll speak up. On Perry Loop Road, Marvin told us that he come out, drove me around, and swore that he was gonna redo that road. And then he came to the meeting saying that he was gonna repair the road.
Let me take it.
And then, you had a lot of support, and it was a pretty close election. And I don't think anybody ought to, take away from that either way. But it was an election, and it happened, and we got to go from there. And I just feel that just because of the election, it shouldn't change the fact that we were going to go for the money on the road.
Leo,
And
okay, well,
I mean, for 3 years,
hey,
you and him both been telling me that the money was give back till we found out it wasn't. I mean, that came from you, Paul, and
well, I was told that Caddo, yes, the money does fall off the table if you let it go so many years,
yes, sir.
and that's what I said. Is that not true?
Well, it's part of what you said it was give back.
Well, if you don't use it and you don't get it, what terminology would you want me to use?
Okay. But that's, I took you as a man of your word.
Hang on
And
a minute.
if that's not the case, then,
Let's do this. You said your piece, and that's fair enough, and we'll let it go with that. And then personally, in my opinion, talking about, that situation, that's something y'all could talk about at the county barn.
yeah.
But you said your piece, and you got the right to do it, and we'll let it go with that.
What was your question? Is that it? Other than that?
Well, it was, I heard on the last tape, I wasn't able to be here the last meeting, but I heard on the last meeting that we weren't going for the money,
Martin, you want to get that, Brian gonna be up there.
and
You say Brian was
that
gonna be
was
up
my
there.
question,
Yeah.
is
You
why
better just go get him
we're not
today.
going
Hey,
after we said we were.
Randy,
the conversation's
We're done with
over.
it.
We're done with that.
this is our meeting, not yours.
I
We're done with
appreciate
it.
your
How did
comment.
you tell me? anything
I appreciate your
about
comment, and I appreciate you being
Yeah, we
here.
can stop you from talking.
me? Well,
But
the man asked
I-
a
the
question.
question's been
How many
answered.
times have we been asked
The
this
question's
question?
been answered. And
I couldn't
put that
be
in
the
the
last
paper.
meeting,
You
that's
put
the
in the
reason
paper
I'm
about
here
what
to,
it did.
Doesn't have anything to do
to
with
find
paper,
out
it has
that.
to do with me.
Well, it does me.
Anyway, the question's been addressed, and I don't know what to tell you. But the question's been addressed, and appreciate we just leave it at that.
Well, it's just,
Sorry, Bobby.
Watch it. You need to get here early to be coming in.
I'm sorry.
Y'all need a chair. Y'all need a chair, Bob?
Bobby, you want a chair?
No. I'm in the room. You just sit.
I'm afraid no.
Pretty chair.
I'm fine.
Yeah, but we signed. I'm gonna get it.
Probably about 10, 15 minutes.
No, thank you.
Excuse me, ladies.
You, sit down there, bud. Sit down there.
My God. Trade places with her. Trade places with her. Yeah.
Have that seat.
No, go ahead. I'll quit turning.
I just seen Stan. I don't walk outside anymore. You wouldn't get here.
Take this.
We don't want it. Not really.
You turn the line off too many times. Sit down.
That's fine.
I have it.
I need a motion on item number 5. I'll second.
Roll call. Marvin Allen,
Yes.
Paul Story,
Yes.
Clark.
On item number 6, I'm gonna make a motion to approve proceedings from last week's meeting.
I'll second.
Paul Story,
Yes.
Clark Terry,
Yes.
Marvin Allen.
Yes.
Item number 7, approve blanket POs.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Clark Terry,
Yes.
Marvin Allen.
Yes.
Paul Story.
Yes. All right, item number 8, discuss and consider signing a resolution to transfer R2 general account to GRCB account for jail payment. How much you talking about, Randy? Oh, this right here? Okay, you didn't have that on there? All right, this is the, what this transfer is for $18,622.60, and it'll go in there to keep us current on our,
That'll keep us current
to this month, yeah,
Next
today.
July, August,
I mean,
until the 25th of
till
September.
the 20, yeah, correct, till the 25th of September. I'm gonna make a motion, we sign it.
I'll second.
Paul Story,
Yes.
Clark Terry,
Yes.
Marvin Allen.
Yes.
That's just a letter. Follow the rules. That's good. Watch it, brother. Let's go.
Yeah.
I will too. Number 9, discuss and approve August monthly report for county clerk and health department. Motion made on item number 9, I'll second it.
Marvin Miller,
Yes.
Paul Story,
Yes.
Martin Perry.
Item number 10, discuss and consider signing detention service agreement, Community Works, Cleveland County, for another juvenile detention center. $24.34 a day per child. So we send one, yeah, we have to sign, but do y'all wanna, that's the agreement, they'll keep the 24.32 a day if we
need
if we have to send a juvenile there.
I'll make a motion to do
I
that.
say,
Roll call, Martin Perry,
Yes.
Paul Story,
yes.
Marvin Miller.
Yes. Discussion and signing resolution possible pertaining to,
That's the one we scratched, because it's up there.
yeah, that's 11.
Are we supposed to sign all copies of this? There's like
Mhm.
4 copies.
Good job.
You doing that, you did? You call them trouble in there? Other place again. Number 12, discuss and possibly passing a resolution for setting money aside for jail bond junior loan. How much we talking about? You considering this?
I talked it over with Gail Dixon, and we've also talked, I don't know if Gail's talked to Carrie, but I've talked to Carrie. Carrie thought it was a real good idea that since there seems to be some pretty good amount of carryover in the county's coffers right now, that we should earmark and put it on the budget as a line item. Half of the debt, which is going to be $204,000. And I'll explain to you how I arrived at that is that the original junior loan was for $450,000. And all but $42,000 of that has been taken out. The $42,000 was ceased to send payments down here to the general fund because we didn't put the quarter-cent sales tax in like we had pledged we would do. So the bank stopped sending the payments, and that's why the residual is still there, the $42,000. So if you take the remainder less that $42,000, it's going to be $408,000. And the $204,000 is half of what will be owed. In addition to that, we're going to have to pay another $212,690 in interest in the term. So that total of the interest plus the loan less the $42,000 is going to be $620,690 total that we will pay in by the time that gets serviced. So not having any plan or means to service that debt when it comes due in 2024. Gail and all of us that were on the jail committee, Rick, Rock, and I, we all talked about this, and we talked it over with Gail, and Gail thought it was a good idea that we start doing something to it because it'll be here in 7 years, which is not too far away. And that'll give us a pretty good leg up on trying to come to get the rest of the money to be able to service that debt when it comes due.
Or we're setting the budget Thursday?
No,
No,
I thought we were doing it the 8th.
13th. He couldn't
13th?
come on
Yeah, I thought you said the 8th.
I didn't call him, Friday, I called.
Oh, we called you Friday and told you? Anyway, a week from today, then we'll be setting the budget. And that'd be the time to discuss it, do it, in my opinion. If Gary thinks it's doable, I have no problem with it.
Kerry thought it was a good idea to look forward towards servicing that debt. And we did talk about that it could be sitting there as an emergency, where if there was some real bad emergency in the county other than servicing the debt, that it could be drawn upon in some way. But wording it, he's an accountant, I'm not. He's talked like he knew of an avenue that could provide us with one. And that gives us a great big leg up on approaching that debt. I mean, we've only got 7 years to try to raise that money, and it's not going to go away. I mean, we're going to have to face it sooner or later, and if we start trying to do something about it now, it's a lot better than trying to wait till we can't do anything about it.
Well, if we do put it in the budget, I don't think we'll need a resolution, but if he says do it, Randy, I have no problem with it. I mean, we're gonna have to do something.
Clark, how do you feel about it?
Well, you're talking about, you was telling me a little bit about it
Yeah.
earlier, but you're talking about just not actually taking the money out, right?
Right.
We're just setting it
Aside. You're setting it aside as a line item in the budget that would be there to service the debt when it comes due.
Yeah, I don't guess so.
And in the event that we can't, I mean, we're gonna try every avenue we can to find ways to raise the money to service that debt. In the event and I'm talking about the property at McCurtain. In the event that that would happen and would transpire, then the debt would have the money to be paid. Then this $204,000 would go right back into the general.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a
It's not
problem.
like we're taking it out or anything like that, it's just that we would be basically addressing our debt. And hopefully we can come up with other means to help if we can't come up with other means. Just planning for the future of what if, and that's how I think we should be looking at the future, is that if we could not raise the additional money to pay that off in 2014, then if we had this and we had applied it, then we'd only be looking for half of that much. So it would be a lot easier to obtain it if we have to go out and borrow it or whatever we have to do to, service that debt. And when I say borrow it, we may have to ask for an extension on the bond payments or buy other bonds to service that debt.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I'd say if Carrie's good with it, I'll be good with it.
Marvin?
That's what they want to do. Be like that. So I mean, last I was told it would be the 8th, but the 13th fine, it'll be a week from today.
Okay, so.
Just a week.
Thank you.
It's the-
So, we have a meeting that Monday before the 13th.
Yes, yeah, but
So, the question I'm bringing up here is that if I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to pass a resolution to do that. So then forward, it would need to be passed, if not today, it would need to be passed on the 12th.
we'd have to pass a resolution to add a line item budget to the budget.
You're gonna have to set the amounts. Gail's gonna want it, Karen's gonna want the amounts. And it's gonna have to come through this office to do it. So I guess what I'm saying is that you've got the rest of this week, which is 3 days, or 2 days if you don't work on Friday, to investigate it, find out about it or whatever, and then come to the meeting ready Monday to pass the resolution. If everybody's in favor,
I said
and Gail's in favor, and Carrie thought it was a great idea to do it, then, you need to find out between now and then if that's what it's gonna take is to pass the resolution, which I think it will, and then do it on the 12th, if you're not gonna do it today.
I don't have to sign, I think it'd be better to do it to 12. We don't have a resolution to
Well,
sign at the
no,
moment.
but we need to do it the first time it needs something here, but like this on this bond payment, we don't have to have it on the agenda, because we do this all the time, transfer money to go from one account to the other. But it does need to go one time, I think, just so it would be documented. What y'all decide.
But anyway, I'm gonna back up a minute here, and, we have an $8,000, 6.5, but anyways, it comes to $8,000 to, am I right, Marvin, that will fix all the air conditioning and the freezer problem? The walk-in cooler, that will eliminate our air conditioning problem. Walk-in cooler. I did talk to Twin Cities. They called me back and assured me they ordered the bag house, and as soon as it got here, it would be installed on their asphalt plant or cement plant. So, if used properly, that should keep a lot of cement out of there. I mean, it should. It's
You
something.
should have one on there all the time.
Right, but I mean, unless something
That's
blows
what
up out there, it's,
That's what it takes, so you're gonna have to get that dust out of the system. You remember those pictures I sent you, Marvin, that showed you where the blanket goes?
but anyways, so
That's for the jail, right?
that is for the jail. So how do you feel about, do you want I mean, and I'll tell you another thing, I was looking at last year's budget, and we did put $4,000 in maintenance and operation. Of course, I know this is 8,000, but you know, we've never spent that 4,000.
Well, we're gonna have to keep it up.
And I do have them, I mean, I went out there last week and there's like, we're gonna have to do something about the bathroom situation out there. But he's making me a list and we're gonna get, but how do y'all feel about getting air conditioning and walk-in gutter fixed? But tell him to fix it then. Cause you know where it's coming out of. Okay, you talk to Brian, tell him to fix it then. I had to back up on that, I missed that. Is there any more discussion on item number 12?
Before we close up on that, Karen, would you put that on the agenda for the 12th? That, to pass the resolution. And I'm sure that if there's any details needed for it, Carrie or Gail, everyone could.
I talked about that.
All right.
Are we making a plan to do this?
11, well, we'll just again wait on it. If no more, then I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn.
So you have to recess.
We don't have to.
Two things.
recess, we'll into a new meeting.
You didn't ask for any more business.
Yeah,
He already done that.
I already asked new business.
Well, the clerk's got information, and we didn't sign a visitors list yet either.
Who had a
Somebody
question?
had down
Last week, we were asked to compile a list of things that was wrong with the courthouse that needed to be repaired, and I just simply wanted to hand that out. We made a list from each office. I don't know if this, can I do it now, or?
Sure.
Okay.
I will say also, Randy asked me to do that a long time ago, and he was gonna come by the next week, and he came by, so I have a list as well, and I don't wanna duplicate, but if I get a copy of this and see that there's something not on there, I'll kind of bring that forward to at a later time.
I did what? I didn't show up?
You asked me a long time ago to do
Rick,
that, and you
did
said
you
you'd be
have-
by
yeah,
the
I'm
next
sorry.
week, and you never.
About the heating and
I did it a
air.
long time ago,
I
too.
hadn't seen you
Said
since
he's
then.
gonna talk to
Are
her.
you
Yeah,
telling
he
me
came the
that?
next
You didn't come
morning.
by, you said I'll
What'd
come
he
back
say?
with it, we'll
He
discuss
said
it.
if they
You
come
never came
once,
by.
then
I've been
whoever they
playing
met with
opposite
said they didn't
week
have the money to
25
fix
since
it.
then.
Said they'd call them later, left.
It had to be Ron. Can they get us a set of
I'm
plans to
during
bid on?
election.
Or they want?
Well, then you
What did he-
come in when I'm counting elections.
He didn't go
I
up
was
there.
there many times
Rick,
before
I don't
that.
know. I haven't talked to him.
You never asked me anything about.
He was out of
I
town.
think
He
created
left
the list
town
is why I didn't come
Thursday,
back by.
and I haven't got to talk to him.
Gary talked to Destry, and he said he was coming by here. That's, Gary actually talked to him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll have an answer next week, find out what he is. I don't know if he got a chance to come by or not. He wasn't sure. He was gonna try to.
He said he was coming that next morning.
Last Tuesday, I think it was when he was planning on it, but I haven't, I don't know if he got it, was able to or not. I haven't told him. But I'll.
I don't know who he was supposed to see when he got here.
And I should say Ron.
That's what I told him, just to see him, and he could let him into wherever he needed to be. He's familiar with the system. He said he's worked on it and all, and he said there's some different options you could go with. Just didn't know, without going into individual offices and seeing what needs to be done there. He can't give a definite figure or anything, but he said there is some options that could use with the existing some of the existing plumbing or piping that would be more efficient and more cost effective.
Like an internal coat then.
Well, we can, I'm sure it's gonna cost more than 15,000 for what I'm thinking, so, you know, we're gonna have to have a set of plans to bid off of, and we can get that.
Is that what's necessary? I mean, you have a dollar amount that you can cap out at?
If you spend more than $15,000, you have to go out for bids.
Okay.
And I'm quite confident it's gonna go 15,000.
Sure.
So that's why we need a set of plans to bid off of, to let everybody bid. And then you have to go out, open it up to the public.
Who would you be looking to for the plans?
That's what I was hoping, that Harbor or somebody could give us a set of plans to bid off of. I mean,
He's not gonna give you a set of plans.
give us a bid, okay, what it's gonna cost.
We'd have to give a bid off of a set of plans, or somebody's gonna have to.
That's what where are we gonna get a set of
We're
plans
gonna have to
from?
get a mechanical engineer to design a system and agree on the system as to what you want put in. And then the mechanical engineer will draw up a set of plans of the work to be done. Then once that's done, you can hand that out to whoever's interested in it, and it can go out to bid.
You need to call Kim. They'll have, you'll know one. He's an architect, they sure he's used mechanical engineer before. You care to call him? All right, ask him.
Oh, is there original set of plans on the building when it was built?
I'm sure there is, but
Somewhere.
the system that is in place now, you know, I believe it's, I don't know exactly how old it is. Ron told me it's like 60-year-old, and I don't know how old it is, but it's, I think it's time to update if possible. All right, we've adjourned, so we'll be, if anybody wants to hang around, we're having the EMS meeting at 7 o'clock.